Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Am I audible? Aisha, please rename yourself with your roll number. Aisha, rename yourself, please. I'm still okay. You can hear me clearly, all of you? Alrighty.
Yes.
Today, inshallah, I want to cover up a bit on fiqh of fasting. Fiqh of fasting, inshallah, we will cover. I want you all to note down the points. So please bring your notepads. After you have it ready, show me a thumbs up. Once you're ready, give me a thumbs up. Okay. I'll be asking questions and I want you all to keep a note of this. So please bring your notepads. Okay, since this is a very wide topic and it requires a detailed explanation, but here what am I going to do is I will just make it very simple so that within an hour, inshallah ta'ala, we can complete it. Okay, I have the references with me. Wherever required, I will give you the numbers. You can put the references. Otherwise, only with the brief explanation is what we are going to go ahead. Are you all clear? Is that okay? All right. Let's begin with the fiqh of fasting in brief. So fasting is mandatory upon every sane Muslim and adult person. So fasting is mandatory, obligatory. This is one of the pillars of Islam, right? So it is mandatory on every sane person. What do you mean by sane person? Can someone explain me what do you mean by sane? Sane person? Yes, Ara?
Someone who is aware of what's going on around them, who's conscious.
Someone who's aware, conscious. Very good. Sane person. What would be the opposite of a sane person? Who will be exempted, you think? Yes, Aida? Insane. Absolutely right. Insane and child. Okay. They are exempted from fasting. In fact, breaking the fast without a legitimate excuse is a major sin. Put there. Breaking the fast without a legitimate excuse is a major sin. I hope you understand by the meaning of legitimate excuse. What do you mean by legitimate excuse? What is legitimate excuse? One of you? Yes, Sarah?
Sensible excuse.
Sensible excuse. Okay. Anyone else?
Something that has a reason, like any medical issue.
Medical issue, logic, valid, justified, something which is very strong. Yes. Without any legitimate excuse, if somebody will break the fast, it will go into the category of major sin. Okay. Who else is exempted from fasting? Somebody who is sick and a traveler. So do you think they have to make up for this fasting? Yes. Yeah. Safa, tell me. Amna or Safa, any one of you?
Yes, they need to.
They need to make up for the fasting. Right. So a sick or a traveler, even a pregnant lady, a lactating mother for that matter, if they think they have a fear that it will be harmful for their health or for the baby fetus's health or for the breastfeeding baby's health, then they are exempted. The reference that I'm giving you is from Surah Al-Baqarah, verse number 184. Please note it down. Surah 2, verse 184. You have to make up for the missed fasting. Okay. Females in their periods, females in their nifas. postpartum bleeding or menses. In Arabic, postpartum bleeding is called nifas, and the periods is called haid. You can write HAIZ for that matter.
Ma'am,
Cannot fast. Sorry,
ma'am, please can you repeat that sentence again?
which sentence are you talking about?
The one you were saying just now.
Which one? What was the last statement that you wrote?
I didn't write it.
You have not written anything so far.
No. I wrote the Surah 2 verse 84. Then
Okay.
after that I missed out.
Okay. You have to make up for the missed fast. I said the category of sick. Under the sick comes what? Females who are having bleeding, periods. Females who are having the postpartum bleeding. Postpartum bleeding meaning after the delivery of a baby, of a child, there will be bleeding for some time. So that bleeding is called nifas in Arabic, NIFAS. Okay. So during this nifas and during the periods, menstruation, you cannot fast. So that goes as missed fasting, but you have to complete it later. There are hadith available. Aisha radiallahu anha's hadith is there. We used to menstruate at the time of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we were commanded to make up for the fast, but we were not commanded to make up for the prayers. This is recorded in Bukhari and Muslim. So what is the permanent exemption? Permanent exemption where you don't need to, when a person is unable to fast, the person who's very old, the person who is chronically sick, this person cannot make up for the fast. So what do? They do give fidya. What is a fidya? Anybody knows what is a fidya? Subhanallah, our religion has solution for all the categories. Now, if I say a person is unable to make up for the fast, yes, Aida, go ahead, please tell me about fidya.
It's like a fixed amount,
Absolutely
like
right.
a zakah.
Okay. I know how you're comparing it. I understand in the terms of that there is a fixation amount. Yeah, agree. Barakallah fiq. There is a fixed amount. What is a fidya? A fidya is half a sa, which is equivalent to 1.5 kilograms of wheat or rice. One has to give actual food, not money, because of the wording of the ayah. And it is recommended that you have to give the staple food of that particular place where you are giving the fidya. It will be equivalent. 1 sa is the amount through which the measurement that has been mentioned. Now, what does that sa approximately is equivalent to? 1.5 kg of either wheat or rice or whatever the staple food is of that area. Now, what happens if a person dies without completing his obligatory fast? Then his heirs, the ones who are the legal heirs, money, if a father passed away without completing his obligatory fasting, then the sons, okay, the legal heirs of that person will fast on his or her behalf or give fidya, as it is the debt. It is a debt that we owe to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So somebody will need to fulfill that. Are we clear? We have a hadith in Bukhari and Muslim in regards to this. Now let me give you the meaning of Som. You know how you write Som? Swad, Waw, and Mim. I want somebody, 1 minute. I want somebody to write Som for me. Where is my whiteboard? Okay. Who will write here? Can somebody write here or should I write here? See. Som. Okay. This is Som. Can you see it? Can you girls see it?
Yes, we can see
Okay.
it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Write in Arabic. In fact, slowly start practicing writing in Arabic. I want you all girls to start writing in Arabic. Now, what is the literal meaning of Som? Okay. Som is basically to abstain from certain actions for a specific goal. The literal meaning, to abstain from certain actions for a specific goal. Did you write it?
Can you repeat your voices?
Okay. To abstain from certain actions for a specific goal. Clear? Did you all copy?
Yes.
Great. Yes. Barakallah Fiqh Sara wrote the Arabic Som in private chat message. Okay. Now, what's the applied meaning? The applied meaning here in this case is to abstain. What do you mean by abstain? To avoid, to stop from eating, drinking, and having intimate relationships with the wife, between the spouse, yani, with the intention of worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from dawn to sunset. So in our case, what we are discussing fasting, the literal meaning is to stop, to abstain from certain action for a specific goal. Now, in this case, the applied meaning is to abstain from eating, drinking, and having intimate relationship with spouse with the intention of worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from dawn to sunset. So what do we do in the state of Som? We do good, we avoid sin. What do we do? How do we exhibit? What we exhibit? We exhibit self-control. Just write the points. Do good, avoid sins. Self-control, balance, guard 5 senses, purification of body and soul, and then put an arrow. Finally, by all this, what do we achieve? Taqwa. What do we achieve? Taqwa. Make like a diagram there, huh? What did we write? We wrote, do good, avoid sins. Then we talked about self-control, balance, guard 5 senses, purification of body and soul. And finally, what we achieve is taqwa. So the day 1 of Ramadan, it starts with the sight of new moon and ends with the sighting of new moon for the entire month. The month can be of 29 nights and days. So once it is declared that we see the moon for Ramadan, the crescent of Ramadan, the fasting begins. And it ends when the sighting of new moon of Shawwal is seen. Now, it is recommended that we see it by our own eyes, but if not, then it's okay. And there is a particular dua also that we say when we sight the moon. The translation goes like this. It is from Sahih by Albani in Sahih al-Tirmidhi 2745 hadith. Allahumma ahlilhu alayna bil yawmi wal imani was salamati wal islami rabbi wa rabbuk Allahu. This is recorded in Albani in Sahih al-Tirmidhi 2745. Now, intention can be of 2 types. One is that one can intend to fast daily. That is, the intention should be made the night prior to dawn, before the suhoor, before the night by night, every night you have to make the intention to fast. Or else you can have an intention of fasting for the full month of Ramadan. And in case if it is interrupted because of sickness or because of your periods or because of traveling, then the intention should be renewed. Okay, question time. What is the dua for intention? Does anyone know of any dua that we do? I just mentioned about the intention. Is there a dua for intention? Do you all say anything? Yes, Aida?
No, there is no dua.
Barakallah Fiq. Once upon a time in my Dore Jahaliya, there used to be a dua we used to actually literally say before every night Okay, and that we discovered later on that it is incorrect. So basically, there is no verbal dua. And okay, another question time. What is the dua for before before iftari, or maybe I should say immediately after iftar? What is the dua? Anyone knows? Please raise your hand and recite it for me. Girls, don't Google. You should know this by heart. Tell me about it. The dua during iftar. Seriously, that breaks my heart. Safa.
Ma'am,
Yeah. Nabah, go ahead.
ذهب الظمأ وابتلعت العروق والثبات الأجر إن شاء الله. I guess.
Barakallah
दूसरी
fi.
वाली दुआ है वो
Ji, Alia? Okay. Nabah, do you know the meaning of it?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know the meaning of
No,
it?
ma'am.
Who knows the meaning of it? I need someone to translate that. Yes, Sarah, go ahead.
The thirst is quenched,
Aiva.
and the veins are
Moistened?
there's something,
Moistened. The
and
veins are
the
moistened.
reward
Yeah.
and the reward is confirmed if Allah wills.
Barakallah feek. You take the first bite, preferably dates, of course, khajur. You drink the water and then you recite this. You say Bismillah and you begin. You take the bite, you take a drink, a sip, and then you say this dua. Okay, it's a beautiful dua. Again, we used to follow something else and we used to recite another dua, but then we came to know which is the most authentic, and then we changed. So, Alhamdulillah, we are still learning. Allahumma faqihna fi din ya Rab. Okay. Now, you understood about the intention. Either you do it every day or you make the intention for the whole month. But once there is a interruption, then you'll have to renew your niyyah again. There is no fast for a person who did not intend to fast from the night before. This is recorded in Abu Dawud. So this is kind of a serious matter. So consciously make the niyyah. Now I am going to give you 5 intentions that you will have, especially for Ramadan. I want you to note these points, please. What kind of intention we should have? There are things that I want you to consciously seek for. All right. The first is, why are we fasting? We are fasting to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to attain taqwa. This is your first intention, solely for this reason. Is there anybody in this group who's intending to fast because you want to lose weight? Are you into intermittent fasting or something like that? Is that the reason? Of course not.
Ma'am, can you say the point again?
I am repeating, Amna. Hold on. I'm just discussing. The first point is to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to attain taqwa. Point 2, to seek expiation of sins. To seek expiation of sins. Point 3, to seek protection from hellfire. To seek protection from hellfire. Point number 1 is to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to attain taqwa. Point 2 is to seek expiation of sins. Point 3, to seek protection from hellfire. Point 4, to enter through the gate of dash on the day of judgment. What is the name of the gate? Yes, Safa.
Rayyan.
Barakallah fiqh. Ar-Rayyan. To enter through the gate of Ar-Rayyan on the day of judgment. There is a special gate through which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will allow the people who used to fast, and that's called Ar-Rayyan. So let's seek Ar-Rayyan, passing through Ar-Rayyan, inshallah ta'ala. Point number 5, to receive the reward in full without reckoning. To receive the reward in full without reckoning, yani without any accountability and hisab kitab. Allah ta'ala should be agreeing. He should be pleased with you and should allow you to enter Jannah. Okay. So these are the 5 intentions. Have you all copied it? Great.
Ma'am,
One of you, please read it for me loud and clear. Umama, can you read for me all 5 points?
Yeah, ma'am, I have written 4 points.
Okay, wait, then let me ask Mariam. Mariam, please read out for me loud and clear.
Yes, ma'am. We are fasting to obey Allah, to gain taqwa. A second point, to seek expansion from sins.
No, not expansion, Habibti. It will be an opposite meaning. Expiation. 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 Okay, which means to clear out our sins. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. To seek protection from hellfire, to enter through the gate of Ar-Rayyan in the day of judgment.
Absolutely, inshallah, bi'idhnillah.
To receive the reward in full.
Without reckoning, yani without any opening of your books, without taking the accountability. Yani Allah should, because on the day of judgment, there are 3 categories. One is without reckoning, yani no hisab kitab. Freely you are entering because Allah is so pleased with you. Then comes people with the light reckoning. This is for the believers, by the way, that believers will be, their accounts books will be open and they will be questioned. Okay, then there is the third category, which is a super dangerous category, wherein the punishment is for sure, yani their accounts and their thing is all messed up. So we are aiming for what? We are not aiming for the light reckoning also. We are aiming for the full freedom and no reckoning. Yani Allah is so pleased, the muqarrab, the highest level, okay, of the people who did the obligatory, who did the sunnah, who abstained from makruh, and who did voluntary acts. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so pleased with them, the people from the higher darajat. So we are aiming bi'idhnillah for that. Okay. So we are asking, we are seeking this. Ramadan is the time to seek that full, highest, best category. You know, when you're traveling, supposedly you're traveling in the aircraft, you don't want to just travel in the economy. You want to travel where? You want to travel in the business class. You want to travel in the first class. So something like that. Go and aim for the best one. Okay. Don't compromise. Go for it. Whatever you aim for, whatever you seek, inshallah, bidnillah, you'll get it. So in Ramadan, not only go for the obligatory prayers, not only go for the recommended sunnah prayers, but go for voluntary ibadah also. Please Allah, this is the time. It is between the abd and Allah. Just get the best. This is an opportunity for us. Okay. So 5 points cleared. Now take a meal a little before dawn, for there is blessing in taking meal at that time. We're talking about the morning suhoor. So what is the best thing? Again, the one which I told you, that is from Sahih Bukhari. Take meal a little before dawn, for there is a blessing in taking meal at that time. It is recorded in Sahih Bukhari. And what is the best thing to take? Dates. This is recorded in Abu Dawud 2345, the hadith number. So dates is beautiful. Dates is recommended. And of course, other things also you can eat. I don't want to list down any food items here. Fast begins with dawn. I'm giving you a reference. Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 187. Surah 2, 187. We'll skip this because I don't want to get into detail. I want you to take the references and check the verses and the tafsir. Another hadith for iftar. If fresh dates were not available, he would eat dried dates. If dried dates were not available, he would have a few sips of water. Okay, this is recorded in At-Tirmidhi. So if fresh dates are not available, so dried dates. If dried dates are not available, then few sips of water. Verily, a fasting person has an invocation when breaking his fast, which is not rejected. Now, this is one point I want you to mark a star here, because I want you to be engaged in making dua before the iftar, because this is one of those awqat where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't reject your prayer. Take advantage. You have, mashallah, 29 to 30 such occasion available in upcoming Ramadan, okay, where you will have an opportunity to ask, make dua during this time. Don't be busy in frying, arranging, do all these things beforehand. Specifically 5-10 minutes before iftar, sit with your list of dua and sincerely make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, make a star. This is your opportunity, golden time. And of course, not to mention the tahajjud and the last 10 nights, we are seeking Laylatul Qadr. Remember that. The people will be fined so long as they do not delay iftar. Another hadith from Bukhari. Okay, we spoke about the dua. This is also mentioned in Abu Dawud, and it is classed Hasan by Al-Darqutni, which is ذهب الظَّمَّ وابتلت الأروق وثابت الأجر inshallah. The thirst has gone and veins are moist and reward is assured if Allah wills. So what are the don'ts? No eating and drinking during fast. Avoid overeating at iftar. Because as per one of the hadith of At-Tirmidhi, the son of Adam fills no worse vessel than his stomach. We logically, what we think, that if I drink too much of water, it will stay in my tummy. If I fill up too much of my stomach with the food in the suhoor, it will not make me feel hungry. But that's not the case. In fact, what happens, scientifically, I'm telling you, if you fill up extra food, your stomach gets upset, and then you will have to rush to the bathroom, and whatever is supposed to be retained also cannot be retained. So don't do that. Eat, which is in moderation, drink in moderation. And again, the content. Yesterday, we were discussing a bit of the healthy part. Try to eat healthy stuff. Okay. Avoid sugary drinks, avoid fried foods, avoid lots of unnecessary processed items. Try to take some salad, heavy, nice protein, but don't get into too much of fries and processed items and sugary items too much. It's harmful, okay, for your health. So don't do that. Eat fruits, salads, vegetables colorfully, yani. And the way it is made and prepared, even that matters a lot. So get into healthy eating. Healthy eating is the best way. And then physical benefits also, inshallah, you can get. But don't fall sick because you have to fast. So go on eating unnecessary stuff. No, there is a blessing, there is barakah, definitely, but overdoing anything, exaggeration is definitely not recommended. Now, another point where I want you to mark a big star there: refrain from wasting time. What are the time killers here during Ramadan? What happens? What are the useless activities? Now, I want you all to, yes, Sarah, tell me about it. What are the waste?
Staying awake at night and sleeping during the day.
Staying awake at night, sleeping during the day. Yes. Who else can tell me about it? Yes, Safa, go ahead.
Wasting too much time cooking.
Wasting too much time cooking. Absolutely right. What else? What else happens during Ramadan that we think that this is a part of a religion, but actually it's a culture and we keep on doing all those stuff? Yes, Aida.
Sorry, by accident.
Sorry, no, tell me now. I've got you. Okay. Give me a point, Sarah. And Aida.
Waking up late, like till Zohar or
Yes.
something.
Yes. Oversleeping. Yes, Sarah and Sidra. Sidra, tell me. Sidra, unmute.
Wasting your time on a lot of technologies.
Absolutely. Full points. The social media, still checking on the Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, whatever on the social media that we spend time on. Yes, Sarah, give me a point.
Wasting the last 10 days of Ramadan preparing for Eid.
Absolutely. Missing the best period for the ibadah. We spend in shopping, we spend in TV soap operas, we spend in sports, idle gatherings, hanging out, going to mall, going for gabga parties, iftar parties, and changing of the furniture and the curtains and whatnot. And then shopping, and then parlors, and then all those unnecessary things that is not required. They are the time killers. We have to refrain from that. Because as per the hadith of Ibn Majah and Sahih al-Targhib, it says it may be that a fasting person gets nothing from his fast except hunger. What else? What else are the don'ts? Lower your gaze. Lower your gaze. You have to control. No swearing, no lying, no backbiting. Okay? As per Bukhari 1904, when any of you is fasting, let him not commit sin. Like, for example, if somebody is into smoking, okay, somebody is addicted to smoking. So while you're fasting, of course, you can't smoke. So this is the time where you can break a habit, break an addiction. This is a golden period. All right. So if there is any bad habit that you have, this is the time you can rectify your conduct. Because as per a psychological thing, if you are able to control it for few days, few weeks, then that thing will be out of your addiction circle. Okay, so that's how you make yourself or rectify yourself for the rest of the month, by practicing those things in Ramadan. For example, if you're not able to get up for Fajr, but now you can, so make it a habit. If you're unable to read Quran for the rest of your other months, during Ramadan, make it a habit. Engage, connect. Okay, so this is the time. No arguing or fighting. As per Al-Bukhari in Al-Fatah, if someone fights him and provokes him, he should say, I am fasting, I am fasting. What else? Avoid unnecessary friends and family gatherings that are accompanied by gossiping, backbiting, humiliating, and using bad words. Then avoid telling jokes that have content and are offensive and immoral. Anything that involves your tongue, evils of the tongue, then you should avoid it. Because again, as per the hadith of Bukhari 1903, whoever does not stop speaking falsehood and acting in accordance with it, Allah has no need of him giving up his food and drink, which means you are fasting, you're thinking you're fasting, and Nauzubillah, you're continuing with all those evils of the tongue. Then what you're doing, your fasting is not considered as fasting, it is mere starvation. You're not getting the ajr. So what are the top 10 deeds? Top 10 deeds in Ramadan. Make a note. Make your goals very clear. Stay active by exercise and avoid overeating. Okay? And what else you can do? Now the list is: first, make lots of dhikr. Number 1, make lots of dhikr. Number 2, perform sunnah, nafil, taraweeh, and qiyamul layl prayers. Point 2, perform sunnah, nawafils, taraweeh, qiyamul layl. Number 3, be charitable. Be charitable. Sadaqah, huh? Number 4, feed the fasting prayer. Feed the fasting prayer. Number 5, for us it is not applicable. It is about congregation, but this year I think in Kuwait they are not allowing for women to go for Taraweeh. So I don't want to talk about those. It is about the congregational prayers basically. So we can skip that. Number 6, observe itikaf. Even that is supposed to be in the masjid, so we skip that. But you can note it down to let your father and your brothers know about it. Okay. Number 7, be vigilant about Laylatul Qadr. Be vigilant, money. You have to be very alert, very conscious. Look out, watch out, and seek Laylatul Qadr. Number 8, exhibit good manners. Adab, good akhlaq. Point number 9, recite and ponder upon Quran daily. And we discussed that whatever we can do, maslan, do tajweed, makharij, recitation, memorization, tadabbur, tarjuma, tafsir, whatever are the different sciences of the Quran, ulumul Quran, try to engage in that. And number 10, make loads of dua. Okay, number 5, you can put there for the women, you can put for girls here to help in your domestic work. You can help and assist your mothers. In number 5, put a slash and put it into bracket, help in the household work. And in the place of observe itikaf, you can put there that make it a habit that you pray tahajjud, consciously pray tahajjud. Are we clear, girls? Any point remaining or you did not complete? Okay, Safa, which was the point you said? Mark important here. Safa, you got it? What points I said is important? Because I'm
No, I didn't get it.
You didn't get the point which I said make it?
Yes, sir. Put like a star.
The time before iftar, the dua time.
Yeah, that point.
Okay. Okay. Wait. Okay, Alia and Aida, you can tell me now if there is anything that you want clarification or you want to repeat. Just half now.
Miss, could you please repeat the second point?
I will repeat the second point. And Aida, what is your thing?
Can you forward the dua for breaking the fast in the group?
Safa, please note it down there.
Okay.
Dua for breaking the fast. Yes, we will put that. We'll share that dua. And point number 2 is what she's asking, right? Perform sunnah, perform nawafil, which is voluntary prayers, perform taraweeh and qiyamul layl. Clear, Alia?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I want one of you to read out the 10-point list, please. One of you read out. Who has taken it down? Somebody new? I'll give a chance to Zahra. Yeah, Zahra. No, wait. Umama. Umama didn't speak today. Umama, go ahead. Sorry, Zahra, I'll give you again. But I want to give chance to new one every time. Yeah, Umama, go ahead, please.
My very first point is we should make lots of zikr in Ramadan. We should pray lots of zikr, everything. Then second is perform all salah. Then we should be charitable.
Mention there, Umama. I want you to mention there. Besides obligatory, the wajib salah, pray sunnah, pray nawafil, pray taraweeh, pray qiyamul layl.
Yes, ma'am. I had written that.
Right.
Yes.
No, read it out exactly what you've written to me, huh? Okay, point number 3.
Point number 3, be charitable.
Okay.
Charitable, we should pay zakat, and also, ma'am, we can give money and all to poor,
Yes.
Not
Yeah,
only
see,
zakat, except
you
zakat.
can do money, you can give away money, you can give food stuff, there are a lot of things that goes under sadaqah. Safa, write down there list of sadaqah. I will put it in the group, what all comes under sadaqah, okay? But you have to do it on a daily basis during Ramadan. So put that. Okay, point number 4. Safa, you noted?
Feed fasting prayer.
Yes, I did.
Feed the fasting person. Yes. Then point number 5.
Congregation prayer is there, but now in this era we can't. Point number 5 is congregation prayer. Then we have to observe itikaf also.
Yeah, but instead of the congregation, I said put it in the brackets. Help your moms in work, domestic work. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Help your mother. Then observe itikaf, which we do in masjid, but not now. We can't do, right?
Right.
Then it is be vigilant about Laylatul Qadr, last 10 days we should be very conscious and we should do much prayer. Then we should exhibit good manners. After that, conscious prayer, tahajjud, this is last point. Then recite Quran daily and make lots of dua.
Yes.
And then okay, and then conscious prayer, and we should be conscious about tahajjud prayer.
Yes, absolutely. Right? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was way too generous in Ramadan. Okay, as per the hadith of Bukhari, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the most generous of people in doing good, and he was most generous of all in Ramadan. When Jibril alayhi salam met with him and he used to meet him every night in Ramadan and teach him the Quran, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was more generous in doing good than a blowing wind. Yani you can see the blowing wind, how it is and how strong it is and how fast it is. Similarly, the generosity of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, otherwise also he was like that, very generous, but in Ramadan he was like a blowing wind. So what things breaks our fast? The nullifiers of fasting: voluntary vomiting, large quantity of vomit. Okay, voluntary vomiting, large quantity. Whoever vomits unintentionally does not have to make up the fast later on. But whoever vomits on purpose, you have to make up the fast. This is as per the hadith of Tirmidhi. Did you all understand this?
Ma'am, but after vomiting, we can continue our fast?
See, what is the condition I told you? Intentional large quantity of vomit will break your fast. If it is unintentional small quantity, then it does not break your fast. Clear, Rida?
And if it's unintentional but large quantity, still it breaks your fast?
Then it breaks your fast.
Okay. Jazakallah.
Oh, yeah. Eating and drinking, if done out of forgetfulness. I'm asking a question here. Does it break your fast?
No.
No, ma'am.
Yes.
No.
Very good. It does not break our fast. If out of forgetfulness you eat and drink, it does not break your fast, because as per the hadith of Bukhari, if one forgets and eats and drinks, then let him complete his fast, for Allah has fed him and given him the drink. This is as per Bukhari 1933. What else are the nullifiers here? Menstruation, which has your periods, postpartum bleeding, nifas, which I told you, bleeding after the delivery of a child. I want to ask you a question here. For example, the timing of iftar is 6 p.m. Okay, the Maghrib Adhan is at 6 p.m. If I get a periods spot at 5:58, do I have to repeat the fast? Raise your hand, don't answer. Raise your hand if you know the answer. Yes, Amna.
Yes, ma'am, you have to repeat the fast because
Okay.
the fast didn't break.
Okay, Sarah.
Yes, you will have to.
Okay, Safa.
Yes, you need to keep the fast again
Sidra?
because this won't work.
Right. Sidra,
Yes, ma'am, you have to repeat your fast.
you have to repeat your fast, because there is some, I don't know, I'm sure some of you might have heard this, that some people used to say that if after the noon time, if you get your periods, like you should get your periods before the noon time, then you have to repeat it. Is if after the noon time you get your periods, you don't have to repeat it. So that's totally wrong. Okay, even if 1 minute before the Maghrib Adhan, if you get your spotting, you have to repeat it. So menstruation definitely is a nullifier. Postpartum bleeding is a nullifier. Intimate relationship with the spouse during Ramadan, during fasting, it's very sinful. And the kafara means expiation. The kafara is also very strong. You have to fast consecutively for 2 months, or if you are not able to, then you have to feed 60 poor people. This is not your age appropriate, so I'm not getting into the depth of it, but just I'm mentioning it. Then injections of nourishing substances, if I put injection of nourishing substances, if I put during fasting, what do you think? It'll break my fast? Yes. If I'm putting an injection to give energy to me during my fasting, will it break my fast?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it will break your fast. Okay. Sidra?
Yes, miss.
It will break your fast, right? Okay. Taking medicines and pills by mouth, it will break my fast. Blood transfusion, it will break my fast. Kidney dialysis, it will break my fast. So what does not break my fast? What are the activities that do not break my fast? Ear syringe, nose drops, nasal sprays, but avoid swallowing. It should not reach the throat. Use of siwak does not break my fast. Dental filling and cleaning does not break my fast. Mouth spray, which does not reach the throat. Okay. Oxygen, anesthetic gases, nothing wrong in smelling fragrances. It is makruh to taste food unnecessarily while you're fasting. It is all right to taste the food to make sure it is all right just by putting it on the tip of the tongue and then just gargling it out. Okay. But anything that is going down your throat is totally not allowed. There is nothing wrong in tasting vinegar or anything that one wishes to buy. For example, you've gone out, few things that you buy, but of course, under normal circumstances, we don't do it. But there is a permissibility. For example, you're cooking food and a lot of people are there at home and a large quantity is being cooked. Then on the tip of the tongue, you can taste the salt. That is what it means. But you don't swallow it, just gargle it immediately. Is there any doubt in this? I want you all to have a very clear concept about these things, huh? We discussed also yesterday that we can do the brushing of the teeth, but the paste and all should not get into our throat, and don't do heavy gargling. In fact, even for wudu, when we are doing the nostril thing, don't take it too deep. Okay. Are we clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
Eye drops and ear drops. Question time. You think eye drops and ear drops break your fast?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No.
Good. Eye drops and ear drops, having a tooth extract and treating wounds do not break your fast. The people with asthma, they use the puffers. It does not break the fast. Okay, because this is just a compressed gas that goes to the lungs. It is not a food. Then having blood samples taken does not break your fast. And it is permissible because it is something that is needed. Medicines used by gargling do not break the fast so long that they are not swallowed. Okay, there is a fatwa of Sheikh Abdul Aziz bin Baz on these topics. All right. A woman should not fast except during Ramadan without the permission of her husband. It is all right when he's traveling. So this is actually a note for a married woman for voluntary fasting. So I'm not discussing more on this. We spoke about zakat. Zakatul Fitr is an obligatory charity to be paid by the end of Ramadan. That is Zakatul Fitr, huh? Not the normal zakah. Then Zakatul Fitr is obligatory according to the Quran and Sunnah and the consensus of Muslim scholars. In the two Sahihin and other books of Hadith stating, Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam enjoined Zakatul Fitr to be paid with 1 sa'a of dates or 1 sa'a of barley on every Muslim, free Muslim or slave, male or female, young or old. So 1 sa is approximately 4 handfuls or 1.5 kilograms of what? Of the staple food. So the reason for Zakatul Fitr, why it is important? It purifies the Muslim who has performed fasting from any traces of ill speech or obscenity. For example, you have fasted, but for some reason you have not, we all commit mistakes, we all commit sins. So sometimes we cannot refrain from it. So when we give out the Zakatul Fitr, it will purify any of the traces of such ill speech and obscenity. Secondly, it helps the poor. It provides sustenance to the poor. It's an expression of gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for enabling the Muslim to complete the fast of Ramadan. So beautiful. Look at the hikmah of Zakatul Fitr. So who should pay? It is obligatory upon every Muslim, male or female, old or young, slave or free. What's the quantity? We know very well. Okay, by the way, one correction, because I think in the previous one, it was a different category. Okay, I need to mark that. How much is the sa? Because one place it is written 1.5 grams and one place kilogram, and one place it is written 3 kilograms. So I'll get you the exact measurement of sa, okay? Anyways, it is to be taken from the ordinary food of the area where zakah is given, be this food wheat or barley or dates or raisins or cheese or whatever is considered the ordinary food of that area. Okay, such as rice or wheat or corn or whatever. Who should pay it? The Prophet ﷺ ordered the people to give it before the Eid prayer. Before the Eid prayer, it should be paid. It is more desirable to be given within the time extending between the sunset of the last day of fasting and Eid prayer. However, it is permissible to give Zakatul Fitr 1 or 2 days before the Eid prayer also. It is allowed. What else is the ruling regarding that? A Muslim is to give Zakatul Fitr on behalf of himself as well as on behalf of every person of the household and relatives. He can do that. And it is sufficient for a Muslim to give money that equals the value of legally prescribed amount of staple food. But what is preferred is giving out food, the staple food. Sometimes what happened, some organization or some people are collecting the money from people and then they buy the food grains and then they give. So that is also permissible. But what is preferred is that you by your own hand give the food stuff. I mean the head of the family, okay, not you. Any question, any points that you did not understand, anything that requires any discussion, please ask, please open your mics, because here we are to discuss and find out before Ramadan. We are, remember, preparing ourselves, trying to remind ourselves, we are geared up completely what we are going to do. Okay, we are going to utilize our time and energy, everything for the sake of pleasing Allah Azza wa Jal. So this is what we will do. We will keep all our dua books handy. We will keep all our reading material handy. We will keep our books handy. We will prepare ourselves accordingly. We are not wasting our time on anything, on anyone. We are only focusing on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Any point you think that requires any further explanation or discussion, please open up and ask me now. Are we good?
Yeah.
Give me a thumbs up, all of you. Who is ready? Alia, you have a question, dear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Ma'am,
dear.
if we woke up during the azan, then what can we do? Can we have the sehri?
Yes, dear. Very good question, Alia. I'm happy you asked that question. See, for example, if the adhan is going on and you just woke up, you can eat your suhoor peacefully, okay? Don't rush, because there is a hadith which states that if you have lifted up your thing to eat, complete it. If you have lifted up your mug, drink it. Eat and drink, okay? But don't delay too much. Honestly, as per the Quran, it says until unless you see the white line, you have a time, okay? But what we prefer is that there is a time, like in Kuwait, we have something called imsak. There is a time 10 minutes before the Fajr Adhan, they say, khalas, eating, drinking is over. But that's not the state. Why? Because we have to follow the Quran, we have to follow the Hadith. So there is no such thing that before the Adhan, 10 minutes or 15 minutes, we should stop. That is an innovation, basically. So we don't follow that. What do we do is we follow until the Adhan time. But it might happen that sometimes the Adhan started and you just woke up, so you're rushing to eat. Yes, finish whatever you want to eat, immediately start eating it. Don't worry about it. We are covered. But don't make it a habit that you elongate it too much, that even after Adhan, you are eating and drinking. Don't do that. But once in a while, in the case of exception, there is a room that you can do that. Got it, Alia?
Yes, ma'am. Jazakallah khair.
Wayaki. Okay. Are we clear? Any other question? Yes, Haida?
Ma'am, can you tell that hadith number?
Which
If
hadith
you
number?
told to Alia?
This one?
The
Okay,
one.
I'll post it. I'll
Yeah.
post it in the group. I have a complete explanation on that. Imsak, no? I will post that. All right. A very simple basic quiz is there. Can I ask you questions now? Hardly any questions. Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Okay, one by one, you should answer on your own, huh? I will be asking you simple questions here. So, I'll give you the options. Where was Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam born? Option A, Riyadh, Jerusalem, Makkah, or Medina. Raise your hand. Okay. Aqsa.
Can you repeat your question?
No. No. Aqsa.
The voice is lagging for me.
Okay. Where was Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam born? Yes, Aqsa, go ahead.
In Makkah.
Aqsa, I can't hear you. Okay, who wants to answer? Alia.
Makkah.
Very good, Barakallah Fiq. Question 2. According to the Islamic tradition, on which day of Ramadan did Prophet Muhammad receive the first revelations of the Quran? On which day of Ramadan, as per the Islamic tradition, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam received the first revelations of the Quran? Your options are 25th, 26th, 27th, or 28th. Yes, Sarah.
27th.
27th. Yes, Barakallah Fiq. Okay. Which month of the Islamic calendar is Ramadan? 8th month, 9th month, 10th month, or 11th month? Aqsa, you're raising hand, but I'm not able to hear you. Yes, Aqsa, go ahead.
9th month.
9th month. Yes, Barakallah Fiq, 9th. Okay. The meal. Okay. What is the first prayer of the day called? What is the first prayer of the day called? Your choices are Shuru, Asr, Fajr, Dhuhr, or Tahajjud.
Tahajjud.
Who replied without raising their hand? Naba, we don't do like
Sorry,
that.
ma'am.
Sweetheart. Yeah, we raise hands and then I ask you to unmute. What was
Sorry.
your answer?
Tahajjud.
Tahajjud? Tahajjud. Zahra? Zahra? Fajr. Yes, it is not Tahajjud, it is Fajr. Fajr is the first prayer of the day. Tahajjud actually comes under the night prayer, the last part of the night. The night actually is divided into 3 parts, the early, the mid, and the last part. So Tahajjud comprises of the last part of the night. But my question was, which is the first prayer of the day? It was a tricky question, by the way. Okay. What is the last day of Ramadan called? Eidul Adha, Eidul Ghadir, Eidul Fitr, or Laylatul Qadr? Again, I repeat the question. What is the last day of Ramadan called? Eidul Adha, Eidul Ghadir, Eidul Fitr, or Laylatul Qadr? Rida.
Laylatul Qadr.
Oh my God. Seriously, Rida? The last day of Ramadan will be Laylatul Qadr? Who else is there? Somebody new. Okay, Zahra.
Eidul Adha.
Oh my God, you're killing me, girls. Oh my God, Eidul Adha, you said? What is Eidul Adha, Zahra? Zahra, what is Eidul Adha? What is Eidul Adha, darling?
I don't really know the meaning of it.
Okay. Eidul Adha is actually our Badi Eid where we slaughter sheep. That is the Eidul Adha. When the Hajj is commenced, right? That is called Eidul Adha. Aida. What is the last day of Eidul Fitr? Absolutely right. Okay, for all those who don't understand this terminology, please write it down. Eidul Adha and Eidul Fitr. The Eid after Ramadan is called Eid al-Fitr. Eid al-Fitr, because we give Zakatul Fitr. So that's the name. That's how you remember. Eid al-Adha is the Eid that we do after the Hajj. After the Hajj, when we are slaughtering the sheep, we call it Bakra Eid. That is Eid al-Adha. Okay. And Laylatul Qadr is the blessed night which we are supposed to search and seek in the last 10 nights of Ramadan. Rida, how come you said the last day of Ramadan is Laylatul Qadr? I just want to understand, where is your misunderstanding happening, darling? Tell me, how did you conclude that that is the last day of Ramadan?
Because like the last 10 days of Ramadan is Laylatul Qadr, so I thought.
The last 10 nights are the nights where one of the night is supposed to be Laylatul Qadr. But I specifically, okay, I understand what you are talking, but Laylatul Qadr can be any of the nights, isn't it? It could be 21st, it could be 23rd, 25th, 27th, Allahu Alam. So how did you conclude that it is going to be the last 30th? That's my question. And maybe the Ramadan is for 29th night. So how did you conclude that? Right. No worries. No worries. That is the reason why I keep asking different questions and try to make it difficult, because I want to clear your understanding. Okay. So if besides this also, if you have any question in regards to Ramadan, please message it personally if you want to, or in the group, whatever, the choice is yours, but clarify all your points before Ramadan. Okay. I want that we all should inshallah make this our memorable Ramadan, make amazing duas during this Ramadan, ibadah, focus on it, and then may Allah be pleased with us, inshallah, ya Rab. Okay. Yes, Alia, go ahead.
Miss, during Ramzan, which is more better, learning new duas or reading Quran?
Everything is important, sweetheart. That is a good question again, Alia. See, you are reading Quran, you are memorizing Quran, you're making, you're helping your mother, you're doing dhikr, you are standing for Taraweeh. All these things. You remember the 10-point plan that I gave you? What was there in that? We spoke about everything, right? This was our goal. So it has got everything. I wouldn't say learning or reading. I'm not comparing the two. I'm saying both are important, but stay connected to Quran. Yani, you read Quran, you complete the Quran, then you read the translation, you try to recite it beautifully with tajweed and makharij, then you memorize a lot of Quranic duas. Everything is important. Make dhikr, pray salah, be charitable, feed the fasting prayer, offer fajr and all the prayers. Like now we are not doing it in congregation, but help your mom for working, and then look out for Laylatul Qadr, then be nice, be good in your adab and akhlaq, then ponder over the verses of the Quran and make lots of dua. So all these things are important, and this is a complete package of Ramadan. Like, how can I tell you which eye I prefer, the right eye or the left eye? Both are important for me. So in Ramadan, all these 10 points that we discussed, all this we will do. We will learn and we will implement and we will memorize. We will do everything, inshallah. Right, Alia?
Yes, ma'am. Jazakallah khair.
Vayaki, darling. And I want you all to be very energized and very positive and very sharp and conscious during Ramadan. No lazing around. Shut down all your time killers. You remember the time killers I told you? We will not waste our time, because this is a golden period for us. Imagine, I keep reminding myself, I'm reminding you all, we don't know who are going to experience Ramadan, this Ramadan also and next Ramadan also. We don't know, Allahu Alam. So let's make the most of this golden opportunity. This is the time where we are seeking forgiveness, right? So inshallah, on that note, I would like to close today's session. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.